Look, man, at this point, man, JID is a top 5 rapper in this game, hands down. What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take. And I'm back with more videos this week, and we gotta start with the new JID album, The Forever Story. Dreamville powerhouse JID has returned with the new album. JID came onto the scene and made his Dreamville debut in 2017 with The Never Story. I could not stop listening to this thing when it first came out. His voice was unique, his flows were ridiculous, over amazing production. And The Never Story, and just like coming to this point, a place where he didn't think he would be, like you could really feel his hunger and how much he wanted it on here. Following this, we get DiCaprio 2, which in my opinion topped the previous. I feel like JID was singing a little more, and he's a very good vocalist in my opinion. He played around with a little bit more production, and to me it really just showed his versatility and what he's grown into at this point. And it just felt like he could really just rap over anything you gave him, like it didn't matter. And so it's been about 3-4 years since we got a full project from JID, and a lot of people have been waiting on this one here, The Forever Story, which we'll say is a sequel to The Never Story. And I really did feel the difference in what he was trying to do here. The forever being like this place that I never thought I would be, I am, and I'm not leaving. This easily is the best thing this guy's done. Like, he continues to top everything that he's doing. Because I feel like everything I got on DiCaprio 2, all the stuff that he, added and played with, he did that on here like ×2, ×3. There's not a bad song on here. JID has about 1 million different flows, and they all are crazy. All the features on here kill it. And JID, gets into some very dark stories, especially from his childhood, where it deals with the trauma his mother faced, to not seeing his dad and a conversation that he had with him, to the struggles that he shared with a lot of people he grew up with in Atlanta, and how that even to this day keeps them connected despite the rise. And this is top to bottom almost a flawless record. Like it's close, and it's really just highlights on this one, man. So let's jump right into it. Man, did JID kick this thing off strong with the song Raydar. Now it's 3 beats within this song. And the first beat, man, there was no melody. It was 808 driven, and the 808s were knocking, they were crazy. And then I thought it was really interesting too how like on the hook, or like the little, stretch where JID isn't rapping, there's like vocals, and it's like a referee like calling a penalty, like in a football. And when I thought back on it, as I listened to this more and more, like this song kind of felt like something you would hear there. Like I could hear a band playing this first beat, at a high school, like college, like halftime show, or like during the game. Well, black schools. The second beat, the transition on here was probably my favorite. Like it felt like a little dark, but yet victorious at the same time. It was definitely a banger. While it did switch to a third one, and it didn't kill the track or anything, like I would have just been fine with the 2. 3 or 4 in there, like depending on it, could be a little too much, but like I'm cool. One of the lead off singles and another highlight is a song Dance Now that features Kenny Mason. I love the hums that like lead the melody, and I don't even know if that was JID or not, but it did sound like him. JID just like switches it up on each verse. Like he has like a little like accent on the second verse. That I thought was really good. The music video for this was also really dope. And man, this dude had a line on here that like made me stop. Like I had to read it. I had to make sure like I heard what I heard. He says, "Let me bear it all when I talk to God. I'm a rant when I talk to JID." And I was just like, yo. For those who don't know, I gotta break it down. So he did a little double entendre there, and saying, "I'm gonna bear it all. Let me bear it all when I talk to God. I'm a rant when I talk to Jah." So Jah, be another name for like Yahweh or Jehovah. So saying like, I gotta go on a rant when I talk to God. I gotta bear it all. But he's also talking about Ja Morant, NBA, superstar right now. And he basically like did a flip on his name and saying, I'm a rant when I talk to Ja. Another single, which is like just one of my favorite songs, like period right now, is Surround Sound, featuring 21 Savage and Baby Tate. I love this flip of the same sample that Yasiin Bey, aka Mos Def, used on his big song from early 2000s, Miss Fat Booty, or maybe it was 99 when that came out. This is like a trap version of that, and I might like this better. I might like this better than the original. I've been waiting on JID and 21, like an Atlanta duo. Like I've been waiting on them two to collab, and it was everything I needed. I will say I wish that Baby Tate had a longer, section. I wish she could have had more of a contribution because I really enjoy her as an artist. And then this thing like completely, another beat switch. That's something that happens on this album a few times, but it's darker. It's like, it seems like the sample is just like toned down very low, but it still just like has such a bouncy feel. Like I might like the second half of this song better, but like it's just an amazing track. I know for a fact that the consensus is that Kody Blu 31 is one of the best songs on here, if not the best. I love the vocals. I love the layering on here. Those doo-doo-doos like that are there in the background. JID's singing on here was amazing. Like it was amazing, and it really just shows you what he can do on both sides. And on here, JID is just talking about some of his struggles as a child and growing up. It talks about witnessing his mother dealing with trauma when his grandmother passed and how difficult that was to see and for her to go through. And I honestly just think that this beat is just like the perfect backdrop for this dark narrative that JID is taking us down. Like it's literally like the sound of this story, and that's not easy to do. JID continues with his amazing vocals on the song Bruddanem featuring Lil Durk, and I just love how he talks about his guys, like his bros on here, like not just the great times that they experienced together, but how they like shared the same struggles and rough times together, and just that connectedness that they had. Lil Durk, man, he's been on the run lately. Dropped a great album earlier this year, but his verse was great. Loved his flows on here. Like this beat like was really interesting. Like it felt like a mixture of like funk and trap, and I don't know if I've like really like heard that I can remember. Like the production was amazing on this one as well. And if we talking about Bruddanem, we gotta talk about Sistanem, and another beat that I just love so much. The drums really stuck out. They were so bouncy on here, and that bass line was sick. And JID is kind of taking us down this little narrative of him and a girl from back home that he's dating, and kind of how things are starting to change between them as JID is really rising and becoming a well-known name in rap. From her seeing him changing and worrying about the relationship, and him trying to, tell her like it's all fine, even though that is not the case. Then he gets into a very, very emotional and deep verse after this, where he is speaking to his father and talking about their tough relationship and how much he wasn't around, but how he wants them to both just be there for his mom as she's been struggling and really going through some things and really just been to herself. Like, despite their relationship, he wants them to still be there and supportive and caring of her. So JID samples Yasiin Bey on the track Surround Sound, and then gets Yasiin Bey as a feature on the song Stars. And JID is just going in and really just talking about the work that he put in. And I guess it's some artists that rap about their grind and what they do, and it's just not, you don't feel it as much, but you feel it on this track. And it's over such a soulful beat. And I'm thinking, okay, like, is Yasiin Bey about to come over this? Like, I'll be curious to see how he flows, but no. Another beat switch, and Yasiin comes in like guns blazing, like ready to go. And this is content to me that I feel like I've heard Yasiin talk about, whether it's in songs or in interviews, and really just calling out the new wave of materialism, the new slaves, if you will. It seemed like he was more so talking about rappers and just how much we go after the material things, the diamonds and everything, despite being in some of the worst contracts and not even being aware of it and not even realizing like how stuck you are. Like I said, nothing new from Yasiin Bey. We gotta talk about the track Just in Time featuring Kenny Mason and Lil Wayne. This is the second time Kenny Mason's appeared on here, and I actually really enjoy his music, and I'm glad that him and JID are like teaming up. Like I know they had Stick on D-Day that still goes crazy to this day. So I loved him on that hook. He was perfect in that 808. Of course, the 808 is crazy. And JID's flow is just nuts. But we gotta talk about Wayne, because like I've been waiting on this. There have been two people that I've been wanting JID to collab with for the longest, and that's Lil Wayne and that's Kendrick, because in my opinion, JID is like a mix of the two. Like if Wayne and Kendrick had a baby, you have JID, and that's why to me he's just like such like a rare talent and is gonna go so far. But Wayne came in on the last verse, top 10, bro, top 10 all time. And Wayne, you know, has so many flows, and right when he ends his verse, like JID picks it right up with that flow and ends the song with like a 8 or 12 bar and just like ending. And I was mad when the song cut off. I could have taken another 3-4 minutes of this because it was just so amazing. I personally really enjoyed the track Money, and I don't know, I have a feeling that a lot of people, this might not be their favorite. There's a lot of children and singing in there, and I know that that's not like a favorite for a lot of people, but I really enjoyed it. Shout out to Khrysis from Jamlaw on the production. And what I love about it is the playfulness of it with the children and those child vocals, but also the beat was so hard hitting. Like it was like a perfect mesh. Like a beat shouldn't hit this hard with the tone that this song has too, because that drum break was like everything to me. And JID also had this line on here that I really enjoy, and he was saying, ironic being broke is an expensive lifestyle. No wonder they selling dope from sunrose to sundown. JID's storytelling is incredible once again on the track Better Days featuring Johnta Austin or Johnta Austin. And he's detailing the story of his friend from his childhood and just how they went on separate paths. Of course, JID getting to this point of rap stardom, but his friend ends up in jail, and the better days are just referring to the past and when everything was innocent and life was simpler. And JID kind of ends this story, and I think he's insinuating that this friend did die because he talks about not wanting to know the karma of being a killer man, but you did in our better days, and now I miss my best friend. So I think he was saying that like, I was never a killer, like I didn't do that, so that karma I never saw, but you did, and so, you know, now you're gone. And I think that's what he was getting at. And I really thought it was interesting how he really didn't hold back in detailing this, because he talked about those good times, but then he talked about, you know, he was in jail and got out, and then he got back in jail, and he was just talking about like how like I didn't even know what you were thinking that second time, and just like kind of an accountability thing there in a way, when, you know, detailing his pain and his hurt for this friend that couldn't be with him. And I was wondering if there would be a sequel track on this album, and we get that in the final track, Lauder Too, which is a sequel to the track from the Never story. And this felt like a very dark, like Missy Elliott type beat, especially with the drums on this one. I love the synth bass line on here too. Like this beat, I don't even know how to describe this beat, but I loved it. And you got JID and his flows and everything that he does, along with Ravyn Lenae just like chilling in the background, just providing amazing vocals. Like, y'all need to get into Ravyn Lenae if y'all haven't. She dropped a great project this year, and she has a lot of great projects. I really enjoyed these two together on here, and it was a great way to end this album. This is not the shortest video, but like I love this dude JID so much. He came through, man. Like an amazing album. There was supposed to be a 16th track on here, but clearances couldn't, you know, allow it for it to be on here. But he released it on YouTube, and it was amazing. But this thing, top to bottom, is one of my favorite records this year, like without question. I haven't stopped listening to it since it came out. And listen, I've been telling people, like, I feel like JID is about to be that dude. Like, you know, Cole, I feel like he has a few more in him. He's my favorite rapper, but like, I feel like JID will surpass him. Like, he's gonna surpass a lot of greats, and I really see Cole just passing the torch on to him once he's done. And Dreamville will be JID's. Like, I have no reason to feel otherwise. This dude's storytelling continues to improve. His flows are ridiculous. Like, he always surprises me. He's always doing something new. And another thing is JID just has like a great ear for beats. Like, very rarely do I listen to a JID project and I'm like, this beat wasn't really doing it. Like, he always is on great production, and you can't say that about a lot of people. But man, like, I don't even know what this guy's gonna do next, but coming off a project like this, like, he's one of the best. And I'm really glad that I stumbled upon him, you know, when he first dropped Never Story, and just like hearing him on other people's stuff, man, like this dude is incredible, and I can't wait to see what he does next. I don't even know what that could be, what stories, but get into this if you haven't. Like, this thing is crazy, and I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. So what were you guys' thoughts on this new JID album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What were your favorite tracks? Let's have a discussion down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Got another video dropping tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jason. This has been my take, and I'll see you next time.